Okay, and here's number 4. Again, notice that your x's are lined up, your y's are lined up, your equal signs are lined up, and your numbers are lined up. Again, first thing you always look to see, can anything cancel immediately? 7 and a 5, that does not cancel to 0. A -9 and a -10 does not give you 0. This one's a little bit more tricky because you'll notice that you can't multiply 5 by a whole number. Again, we want to stay away from multiplying by decimals and fractions. So we can't multiply 5 by an integer to get 7, and you can't multiply 9 by an integer to get 10. So this is a situation where you're going to have to multiply both equations by some number. And you have to choose which variable you would like to get rid of. I'm going to choose to get rid of the x. Okay? And so if I'm going to get rid of the x, that means this number here and this number here, they have to be opposites. So looking at 7 and 5, I would ask myself, okay, what numbers do 7 and 5 go into? Or in other words, 7 and 5 are factors of what number? So I'm hoping you would say 35, because 7 times 5 is 35. So my goal is to change both of these numbers into 35. One of them needs to be a positive, one of them needs to be a negative. Doesn't matter which is which. Okay? So because I have a 7 here and I want to make it into a 35, I have to multiply this whole equation by 5, because 5 times 7 gives you 35. This one is 5. I want to make it into a 35. What times 5 gives you 35? 7. So I'm going to multiply that whole equation by 7. I might actually do that in a different color. So let me rewrite that. Now remember, we talked about how one of them needs to be positive and one has to be negative. Doesn't matter which is which. Just to be different, I'm going to throw the negative with the 5. Okay, so let's rewrite my work. -5 times 7x is -35x. -5 times -9y is +45y. And now, you might need your calculator for this. You got to do 16. -16 times -5, that's going to be +80. Now we're going to go to our second equation. 7 times 5x is 35x. 7 times -10y is -70y. And -15 times 7 is -105. Okay. So now remember, you're going to add the two equations together. What's -35x plus 35x? That cancels out to 0. It's gone. That was our goal. That's not just chance. That's what we wanted to happen. What's 45y plus a -70? I'll give you a second. Some of you might have to use your calculator. You should tell me -25y. And what is -105 plus 80? Hopefully you're going to tell me -25. You're going to divide both sides by -25, and you're going to get y equals 1. So I just found the y value of the ordered pair for my answer. Now for the x, remember, you don't have to go through this whole thing again to find x. You just pick one of the two equations and put the 1 in for y and solve for x. I'm going to be different this time and do the second one, because I feel like I keep doing the first one and I don't want you to think that that's the case. So I'm going to take my second equation and I'm going to put 1 in for y. So there I have it. -10 times 1 is -10. I'm going to add 15, excuse me, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. I get 5x equals -5. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. I ran out of room, but I get x equals -1. And so that is the x value of my answer.